I'm out at Lincoln Land this week with Seth Impson to discuss the big commitment and talk a little baseball because nobody knows baseball better than you in this area, right?
I don't know about all that. I had a lot of great minds to kind of learn from, so I'm blessed.
First of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
This has been the goal all your life probably, but what does it mean to say Division I baseball player now?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it means a lot. I've worked pretty hard for it for a long time. But I mean, it wasn't even necessarily Division I. Just being able to compete at a high level and play the game for a long time was always the goal. And it feels good to continue to take steps on that journey, but by no means is anything accomplished quite yet. I'm excited to kind of get to campus and just continue the journey and developing as a player and a person and a human being, and kind of going through the things that I've gone through my whole life and just amplifying that to another level. Going from a junior college to a Division I is going from another level, and I'm just ready to be able to do that in multiple aspects of life.
Why is this the right time?
I think it's the right time just because growing as a human being, there's never going to be a perfect time, and to be able to grow and be the human being that I want to be and to be a good person and player, I think I got to be a little bit uncomfortable, and being in something new is definitely going to be uncomfortable, and being able to go and just go do it, right? Type of thing where I've always been a guy that's all in on whatever I'm doing and chasing my dreams, and that's something with this where it's no different. I gotta just go and take the first step and be uncomfortable, even though I don't necessarily see the entire path that's in front of me. I know it's there, and I know that with the man upstairs and my own efforts, I'm going to make it the right path, and it's time to go do it.
We are absolutely spoiled in this area to have the baseball talent that we do. So I think a lot of times people, say, "Oh, a Division I baseball player, that's not a big deal." I don't think people understand how hard these kids you have to work to get to that level. I mean, obviously we have the talent here, but the hard work that people put in, that you've put in. Can you speak to that and just what it means to get to that level? Because like you said, it is another level outside of JUCO that people see here.
Absolutely. And there is so much that goes into it. And I think that when you look at the talent that we're blessed with here in the Central Illinois area, when you take the best guys, the Detmers, the Curtises, the Matons of the world, they work extremely hard, and it's all behind the scenes, right? Like, Nobody gets to see the 6 a.m. lifts that we're doing in here, or the 3.5-hour practices that we're going through on the back diamond in the 110-degree heat in August. Nobody really gets to see that, and I definitely think it's important to acknowledge the fact that the guys work their tails off to get there and to stay there, right? The day and age of baseball that we're in, like if you go places and you don't succeed, it's tough to stay there. So you got to work hard to get there, and then work just as hard to stay there and compete and win in the place that's best for you. So going in and going through that day to day is tough, and it's a lot, and I think that's what pays off for the guys that get there. The Parker Detmers of the world are able to do that. So that's why they have success.
So we kind of saw it in the stars in terms of the Memphis and the path with the Curtises going there. But walk me through that process and why that was the right fit for you.
I mean, like you said, it's no secret that Jake and Eli have definitely been a part of that. Jake being on the staff there kind of was able to create a bridge, and I was able to learn about their program before I came into the recruiting process. So I knew about them, and I knew what I was looking for, and being so similar to Jake and Eli, I knew that they loved it there, so it was on my list of places where I wanted to be. And I had a couple outings early in the year. I went down there and pitched for our first weekend, and then I pitched well a couple times early in the year. And Jake would broadcast it to their guys, and he's like, "Look, like he's throwing well, like we got to go see him or whatever." So it worked out where Jake being himself, got ejected, and they were able to. They had to miss a couple games, so they got to come up and see me. And once they kind of got to get their eyes on me, and we got to talk and have communications and stuff like that, it felt like another addition to coaches that I've played for here or at Springfield High School. Like I felt comfortable in that aspect and learning about their program and those type of things. So it was an easy fit for what I wanted, right? It definitely helped that they were there and were able to help create that relationship for me. But once I got to my own relationship with them, we just kind of hit the ground running, and it was what I wanted in a program and a place for me to call home.
You mentioned earlier about kind of making yourself uncomfortable and making that jump. It's got to make it a little bit easier when you are able to, talk with them about everything that will have to change. What, in terms of how your life will change, but also, the athletic side of things and dealing with everything at the D1 level. So just kind of a little bit easier transition with those guys already doing it.
Absolutely. And like I said, depending on the way you look at it, like my mom has a picture of me and Jake next to each other, and like we look the same, we act the same, like it's all pretty similar. So being able to call him and be like, hey, like, give me the scoop, like, what's the deal with this, what's the deal with that, how do I handle this, like, what am I supposed to do in this situation, it is going to be important for me. Like I'm definitely going to use that relationship to my advantage. The same thing with Eli, because now that Jake's not there, it'll be a little different, but I'll just be able to walk out of my room and go down the hall and be like, Eli, like, what's the deal? What do I, like, I need help with this, or I need to learn with this. And I know that them guys will be there for me and kind of help me with that. And for a baseball aspect of things. And then with a life type of thing, they've both been down there for a year and doing that. So I'm hoping that it'll be a little easier to kind of get my feet underneath me and live in a new place without my mama and all those type of things halfway across the country. Having those guys there to kind of support me and push me through things.
You gonna miss mom more, or is mom gonna miss you more?
I don't know. I think that she might hate me for saying this, but I think she'll miss me more just because going into the new job and everything, she might need some talks with me that I won't be able to have. Yeah. But I'll definitely make sure that I call her and I talk to her plenty. So
with where college athletics is and just kind of the transfer portal, the recruitment processes and everything like that, why do you think it was the right fit for you to go now instead of waiting after your next year?
I think that the way the college baseball is, it's kind of going back to guys that have pitchability and have a competitive nature rather than just high-end talent or projectability. Yeah. And for me, I felt like I could go there and have a chance to pitch right away and make a big impact for them in a good conference. So personally, that was why I felt like it was the decision now. And then going along with the transfer portal and the way that roster limits are being handled and all that kind of stuff, I felt like it was important for me to be in a place where I felt welcomed and valued in that sense. I'm a loyalty person. I stayed home. I did all that kind of stuff. I don't want to go to a school and then be like, hey, you're gone, see ya, after a year. So being in a place where I felt at home and valued, so even if they do go from 40 to 34, I still got my place at home, and I can go there and be a part of a family just like I was here at Lincoln Land, and being able to compete. I think that it's important to not put a whole lot of weight into the what ifs of, okay, what if they go to 34? What if my scholarship gets taken? All that kind of stuff. Like, you can't worry about that. I gotta go play the game and do what's best for me all the time, and let the rest of the world take care of itself.
Ever since I started covering you, you've always been a big student of the game, and I can tell that it's more than baseball. It's everything that surrounds it. So what did it mean to you to get to wear that Logger uniform and that Logger hat and play on that field when you just walk through the halls and you see the history here and you understand how special it is, and that it's a brotherhood that, it's an elite type of deal.
100%. And I think that being from Springfield, I got to be around all of it, right? Like, I got to come to the camps in the wintertime and be around the Knadlers and the Ryan Apers of the world. and learning of like, okay, like this is what it takes to not only be a logger, but to have success as a logger. And I got to kind of put myself in their shoes this year and go through that type of thing. And it was really an honor to be able to wear the logger uniform, especially the number 6, and just being able to go through that and play for Coach Torselli in his first ball club. It was a really special experience for me to not only do it for myself, but to do it with the 26 other guys that I got to be with. Anybody that asks me, I'll tell you, like, this is the best group that I was ever a part of, because like I genuinely would have done anything for any single one of my teammates without a second thought. And I think that speaks volumes to the culture and the program that they've built here with Coach Riggle and Coach Torselli and Coach Krasik and all the former players that do all the things that they do. It's created a special legacy per se of coming in here and playing on Claude and wearing the red, white, and blue.
Can you speak to a little bit what Coach Tor talked about in terms of this team and what you guys were able to do off the field together, and just how special that was and part of your journey?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was abnormal, I would say. Like, I don't think there are a lot of teams in the country that did the things that we did together. In the fall, like, we would spend hours at night watching football, just messing around, doing whatever. We would hang out after practice for an hour in the locker room, or taking ice baths, or doing whatever, taking care of our bodies. So we spent a lot of time together, and having the lower numbers that we did, it was a lot easier to be personable and relate to guys and talk to guys through things in a life aspect, not off of the baseball field. Yeah. So like, there would be times where we would be sitting in the hotel room on trips, and we would just talk about God and our religion and Christ and learning from each other. And I think that really bonded us together. This was the first Lincoln Land team that I've been around in my time that prayed before every game and did those type of things. And I was blessed to be the one that led those type of things. And I think that it really did a lot for our group. I got baptized in the middle of the year, and every single player was there. And we had a game that day. Yeah. So the 8 o'clock service, and everybody was there sitting in the front row. I mean, like, it was super emotional to me and important to me to have those guys support me, because the year wasn't easy for anybody. I mean, battling injuries and struggles and all that kind of stuff. And we never once complained about it. We never put our heads down. Like, we were always there for each other and had each other's backs. And I think that's why we had the success that we did at the end of the year, because we were there for each other, and we just wanted to keep playing with each other. I mean, that's all it was. We didn't care what happened. It was just, we'd show up to the yard and be with my guys.
It feels like, probably 10 years ago now, but as you look back on the state championship in high school, what comes to mind when you just think back on those days and how special that group was? Yeah,
I mean, I think it was very similar to some other groups I've played on, like this group and the group from my sophomore year. Like, those dudes were super tight. And granted, I didn't get called up till the end of the year, so I didn't get to experience it as much. But, like, man, Johnny Steinwart and I were just talking about it a couple days ago. Like, let's think about the fact that Ben Hartle was an All-American in college, went to Kansas, hit 12 home runs in the Big 12, like, balled out there, got drafted to catch in pro ball. I think he caught like 3 games his senior year.
Maybe, yeah.
Right, like, he sacrificed what his future was for the benefit of the team, so that way Case could have success and our group could have success. And being able to see that as a youngin' kind of helped me have a better perspective on what it was like to be a good teammate going through those things, and what it's like to have somebody else's back when you're struggling, right? Like, Ben was in a sling for the whole part of the first round of the playoffs, and there wasn't a guy that supported anybody else more than our best player that was cooped up on the shelf the whole time. So being able to learn how to be a part of a special group, because when I got called up, I kind of stuck out like a sore thumb. My jersey was too big. I hadn't been there the whole time, so like, I had to learn how to fit in with that. And I just watched them and got to learn from them and take in what they showed me, and I've been able to continue through that for the rest of my career. So
for 14, 15, 16-year-old boys, it may be hard to get used to the coaching style of Coach Steinwart, but what do you take away from a program like that where he's building you into young men and not just a kid who can go out and hit 300?
100%. And I think it's kind of crazy. Coach Steinwart and I's relationship has really, like, just skyrocketed since I got done playing, right? Like, when we played, him and I used to butt heads all the time. He'll be the first one to tell you that. Like, he would always come at me. I mean, there was one time we were playing Mount Pulaski, and he came to the mound for a pitching change, and he's like, Seth, you're never going to make it in college. And I'm just like, dude, what? Like, what? Like, okay, ouch. Like, you're supposed to be my guy, and that's what you have to say. But, like, he was honest with me, and he pushed me harder than anybody else. Coming off of the state championship my sophomore year of high school, he's like, yeah, you'll probably split some time between JV and varsity. And I'm like, no. Like, I'm not going to – I don't want to split time. Like, I'm going to earn this. And he really pushed me and helped me turn into the 19 and 20-year-old that I'm going to be from the 15 and 16-year-old that I started with him. And he pushed me and kind of molded me. And again, like, we would talk at practice all the time. Never once did he come up to me and be like, hey, let's do this with your swing, or let's do this with your fastball, or let's spin the breaking ball like this. It's always, all right, let's handle this situation like this, or let's look at the way you treat your teammates like this, and the way that you go about your business like this, teaching me how to be a man and a human being that ultimately led to me learning how to be a better baseball player. And going through that with not only Coach Steinwart, but Coach Elliott and Coach Tremper too. Like, again, the reason I swung a bat for as long as I did was 100% because of Coach Elliott. Like, my sophomore year of high school, I struggled, and I'm like, Coach, I don't even want to do this anymore. Like, I'm a pitcher. I'm a pitcher. Like, hitting is hard. I don't want to do it. And he was always like, don't say that. Like, don't say that in front of me. Like, you're a hitter. And, like, it got me through and got me 100 at-bats in college. Like, so, like, them just developing me into that was so much more than any of the games or wins that I had in high school.
So much of Coach Steinwart's preaching is about the mental side of the game and how important that is for you to have the talent you have, but also the competitive drive that you have, and then for him to be able to mix that in. How do you feel like that's created you as a player? Because I know how competitive you are, but you have to be able to talk to yourself and say, hey, this is baseball. Mm-hmm. I know what I'm doing. Let's go out there and do it.
100%. And I think when I was young, like, I would let that competitive nature get the best of me sometimes. And I don't think there's anything that's too competitive, but it got in the way of me playing at the highest level and getting the most out of my ability sometimes. And I almost, like, I'll be the first to tell you, I made a fool out of myself a few times. I didn't see it then, but they did, and they're always, oh, you're acting a fool. I'm like, oh man, no, I'm not. Like, I'm just being a kid. I just want to win or whatever. Yeah. And him being able to teach me of how to use that emotion, and he used to always tell me poker face. Like, he would come to the mound and be mad at me, and he would just be straight faced the whole time. And I'm like, dude, I can tell you want to yell, so just yell. Yeah. And he never would. Yeah. And he kept his composure all the time and those type of things. I'm like, man, like, how do you do that? And he taught me. Like, he was a teacher, and he taught me. And it was the same thing when I got to college. He was like, Coach Torr's going to have a fun time with you. And Coach Torr did the same thing. Like, he taught me. Granted, I don't think it was to the same extent as it was when I was a sophomore. But, like, there would be times where I would let my emotions get the best of me or whatever. And Coach Torr held me accountable. And I had to be like, yo, like, that's on me. I'll fix it. And being able to do that on the field has helped me a ton, but also off the field of handling my emotions of failure in life and those type of things. Because, I mean, it happens. It's just real. And going through those type of things and learning how to handle the adversity, and also put myself in a position to not have as much adversity and walking by faith and doing those type of things. I would have got there at some point because that was God's will for me. Yeah. It probably just would have taken me a lot longer without the teaching of Coach Steinwart and Coach Torr.
With baseball being the game that it is, and, you know, especially in high school where it's one and done and not a 3-game series, for you guys to win a state title, and now we get to see SHG do it last week, what would you say to that team in terms of how special it is to win a state title and how hard it is?
I mean, I was there, and I remember Drew Ward went running down to the bullpen, and he like stopped right in front of me, and Drew and I have a pretty good relationship. I'm like, dude, you gotta slow down, like chill out. I could see his mind is just spinning and racing, and I'm like, dude, slow down. Like, it's raining, you're gonna go out there, like you're gonna hurt yourself or some bad thing. I'm just like, slow down, man. Like, it's good. And Coach Steinwart used to always tell us, like, man, it don't matter. Like, the Lord already knows what's gonna happen in this game, and I think that the Cyclones this year, from what I saw, did a good job of that, of not putting too much pressure on themselves and just enjoying the moment, but handling it like a business trip, like Coach Namovich said, and going through that, and it's something that they'll never forget. And I can still picture it right now, like when they went and dogpiled, Coach Adam Springer is the last one and jumps right on top, and they'll never forget that, and it will be a special moment for them. I mean, I didn't even play in the state championship, and I remember it like it was yesterday. I remember every pitch.
How late it was.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I remember being at the bottom of the dog pile, and Richie Snyder's laying on top of me. I'm like, man, get off of me. So it's something that they'll never forget. It's a really special moment to always be able to look back and be like, man, like I did this. Like, there will be events where I got to get dressed up and wear a suit, and I wear my ring, and I didn't play, but I still wear my ring, and I get to tell everybody, yeah, I'm a state champion.
Yeah. And
no one can ever take that away from me, and no one will ever be able to take that away from them. It's something that's important.
Before we go, I want to talk a little bit and give you a chance to kind of promote Scout Connect and what you guys are doing, because I think it's great for the kids in the area, and just not only is it a chance for you to be around more baseball, which I'm sure you love, but how did this kind of all start, and how did you get involved, and what do you see as the potential of that?
Yeah, so first of all, I think there's a ton of potential, and it does so many good things for the community. But I got involved with Scout Connect because my junior year, Senators, Titans at Robin Roberts, I was facing off against Detmers, and
no big deal.
Yeah, I mean, back then it was. Now looking back, I'm like, man, there's 20 pro guys there. Like, that was a big deal. But there's a guy by the name of Diego Solares who was there to cover it for PBR, and Parker and I threw the way we did, and it was a great game. I mean, probably the most memorable game I've ever pitched in. And Diego reached out to me that summer, and he's like, man, like, you're a competitor. Like, I like the way you play the game, those type of things. And he invited me to come help them out with an event at PBR, and I did. And just because, again, like you said, I'm a baseball guy. I love being around baseball, and getting paid to do that is the dream job, right? Like, that's the ultimate job. So I was able to go and help out with them, and it just kind of evolved with them. I would run tournaments and work events with PBR, and I went to the Future Games and got to do all that and experience some really cool things. And then when Diego created Scout Connect with GBA in the sports barn, I'm like, man, that's cool. And like, he got me a shirt, and I helped him. Like, I reposted all of his stuff. And then when he got into like running tournaments and running events, like I helped him with some things, a little less over the wintertime, and then in the summer or in the spring, he texted me. He's like, hey, you want to go to cover this Plains Q&D game for me? That was the first game that I had, and I'm like, yeah, like, I'll do it, sure. Like, I've got nothing else to do. I love watching baseball. Trigger Schultz is coming to Lincoln Land. Like, he's a beast. Like, I'll go watch him, yeah, for sure. And I did, and it just kind of carried from there. And I would go cover games for him, and I help him out, and also like help all the players out, right? Like, being able to broadcast their ability and their talent and their success is important, and it makes me feel good. Like, I want to be able to help other guys, because there were people doing that for me when I was coming up, and I want to be able to give that back to people. So Deegs is doing a great job running his events. They just had a big tournament this weekend that a bunch of SHG guys played in and had a ton of success. We ran a showcase last week with 20 Division I schools there, and he's really doing it right. Like, I think that's one of the things that I value about Deegs is he understands the way the world is and the way the game is, and he wants to help people in the world of baseball, and he's doing it the right way. And I couldn't be more thankful to be a part of that. And truthfully, like he's one of my best friends. Like, talk to him probably every single day, and creating that relationship has helped me a ton. So super thankful for what Scout Connect has done for me, and super thankful for what Scout Connect is going to be able to do for everybody else.
As we've seen this year with the Appenzeller story and how much money is involved in terms of pro baseball, and you get 2-3 scouts from every team show up at some of those games.
Mm-hmm.
The bleachers are full of people, and not only do you see the guns, but you see the cameras and everything that goes into baseball now. For you to start being a part of that and see that side of things, how much does that just help your overall knowledge of baseball in terms of being at more games and seeing the different things that go into not only recruiting but just getting to that next level?
100%. And I mean, I think one of the biggest things that people have gotten away from is just watching baseball. And I get the opportunity to go watch baseball doing these type of things, and I pick up on things like I told Coach Steinworth this, like, man, I didn't see how glaring it is to show bad body language until I started scouting.
Yeah,
and I can see it. I'm like, man,
it's easy. Yeah.
I'm like, man, I just watched that guy go into the dugout and throw his bat. Okay, I'm out on that guy. Like, I'm not in. And I got to see that and kind of learn that for myself. And then also being able to go watch good baseball. Like, I go watch Cam pitch and I'll be like, okay, well, he's doing this or he's doing that. And I get to learn and implement it into myself and doing those type of things for myself as a player. More as a person, I get to go and I see these things with the data and technology and TrackMan and all that kind of stuff. And the more I learn about that, the more it prepares me for the future of what I want to do in being a college baseball coach, right? Like, I get to learn about those things and seeing those type of things. Going to scout, I'm getting better at seeing talent. Like, I mean, it was never super hard for me because I've been around baseball for so long, but I'm getting better at it now. Like, I can watch a guy a few times, I would be like, man, okay, this guy can't hit spin at all. And that helps me as a player I get to read what swings look like, so that way when I go into a game and I have to pitch, okay, I've seen that swing before. There we go. Like, I've seen that swing before. I know a swing like that can't hit a breaking ball. Okay, so I'm going to get this guy out with breaking balls. Or I'm going to recruit a college baseball player, and, okay, he can't hit spin. You can't play Division I baseball if you can't hit spin. So being able to learn and just develop and mature and grow and move forward as a human being is huge in all of those aspects.
I greatly appreciate your time. I have a challenge for you before we go.
All right.
I know you and Parker, talking, whatever. So it was 6 years ago, when Channel 1450 got to go to Omaha to cover
see
the
Reed
College
and
World
Tyler.
Series.
Yep.
So I need you guys to get there next year so that I can go, because I didn't get to go because my daughter was going to be born that next couple of weeks. So I didn't get to go, so Jared got to go. So I want to go in these next couple of years. So I need you guys to get there and Parker to get there,
all right,
so that we can come cover it and have some fun.
All right, we'll find a way. I know there's plenty of baseball players from here that'll
maybe Plattner too.
Yeah, 100%.
There's guys.
He's probably got a better shot than I do for starting off.
Cam goes to Tennessee.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
see?
100%. But we'll make sure we take good care of you. Somebody will get you to Omaha.
Awesome. Thank you,
So,
sir. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.